Hey everyone, and welcome to my creative meditation. For today, we're going to be working with the gate number 5. And I'm familiar with this gate. I have it in my South Node and also in my Mars. And we're going to be looking at this notion of fixed patterns and breaking fixed patterns. So for anyone who's looking for a different perspective on the gates to the traditional human design, then this is just, it's another means of expression. It's another means of investigation. So I, through my own creative process, have found that doing these meditations they enable me to see the gates from so many different angles. And when I work with people with their human design charts, rather than provide more information or do a traditional human design reading, of which there are amazing analysts out there, I'm looking at how can we experience our design from a more creative, visual, subjective perspective. So let's get started. So with my creative meditations, you're going to need some sort of drawing material. I've got a pencil today. That's all I'm going to use. Going to keep it really simple. I've got a piece of paper here. And we start with a meditation for about 3-4 minutes, and then we'll move into the creative exercise, which is literally me guiding you step by step through a really simple, repetitive process. And creativity is connected to all sorts of attributes in terms of well-being, in terms of cognition. But for me, really, it's about beginning to switch, allowing ourselves to be switched from a more action to a more receptive way of being. So just for the next 10-15 minutes, allow yourself to sit back, relax, meditate, and receive this idea of the gate 5 in a different way. So I'll get started on the meditation. Do have your art materials nearby because we'll go straight into that. So let's start. So you can close your eyes, or you can just very softly focus on a place relatively near to you and just really relaxing the eyes, relaxing the vision, relaxing the face, and beginning to let go. And let's pay attention to our breath. So our breath is a really lovely anchor. It can help us to come back to ourselves in the busyness and madness of the day. For me, it's like a portal. And no matter what's happening, observing my breath can turn me in to the observer and the witness of the situation I'm in, not necessarily being totally enraptured by what's going on around me. So let's use the breath in the next minute or two to just, here I am. That sense of aliveness. How does that show up for you today? Even focusing on our breathing can bring us back to the body. So what's drawing your attention today in your body? Is there particular sensations in the feet, the legs, the torso, the arms, the head? What's alive? Where is your breath today? Where are you noticing that? Is it in the throat or mouth as the air moves in and out? Is it in the chest, the rise and fall, the expansion and contraction? The diaphragm, the ribs? Or is your breath traveling right down into your belly? Feeling the rise and fall of your belly today. So just noticing. And even though wherever you are, wherever I am, perhaps us taking this breath together to just unify us in this moment, knowing that we're connected, that everything is connected in its own way. So taking a breath in and out. And I'd like you to keep that focus, keep that attention on the breath as we move into the creative exercise. So really realizing that we can be engaged in life, active with life, and still observing, still able to receive our breath as we engage in life. So grabbing whichever art material you have, just grabbing myself a little sip of tea. And we're going to focus on a very simple pattern today. We're going to simply draw a line from one side of your piece of paper to the other. This can go in any direction. You can go up, down, left, right, across. Doesn't matter where we start, but here we're starting with the simplicity of the line. And I'd like you to repeat that act. When you do it this time, I'd like you to breathe in and exhale on the drawing of the line. Now I'm choosing to repeat the pattern from before. I'd like you to do the same. I'd like you to continue this for a few more breaths, breathing in and then breathing out. You may choose to get extremely close to the line before, almost like it's a complete line. Or you may choose to create distance between your line, next one. Creative meditations aren't about drawing a picture, something specific. It's about tuning into this moment, making a mark on the page, and connecting this mark to our breath, and connecting our breath to our bodies. So just keeping this going, connecting the in-breath, and then the drawing on the out-breath. And begin to feel, what's this like in the body? Is your breath beginning to slow down as a result of this pacing with the pencil on the page? Or are you getting anxious at this idea of having to draw this particular way, and your breath is shortening, becoming rapid. Just noticing. Don't have to judge that your breath is not the way it should be. You'd prefer it to be faster or slower. Not having to judge that your lines are not working out how you wanted. You want them straighter. You wish you'd use a different color. Whatever story is going on in the mind, just letting that do its thing. Just returning to the simple act of drawing a line on the page. Now, I'm sure for you, as for me, that even though we have this desire to replicate the line exactly as we've done before, that this fixed pattern be exact, noticing how actually we're seeing little bends emerge, little movements, little sways side to side as we move down the page. Just really noticing this and going with it. Not trying to be rigid, not trying to force anything, just slipping into noticing the pattern emerge. Now we've managed to, even over the last few minutes, develop up a regular pattern. And really sensing that regular pattern in your body. Where is it showing for you today? Is there a tightness somewhere in the body that's really rejecting this notion of a fixed pattern? Replication of the line? The rigidity of this? Or actually, is your system beginning to calm down as you lose yourself in the utter simplicity of repeating a line, one after the other? And once you take note of that, just noticing it in your body, where it lands, how it feels, I want us to make a change. So on our next line, we're going to deviate in some way, shape, or form from what has gone before. You might change direction. You might change the shape of the line. You might start a completely different series somewhere else on the page. It doesn't really matter, but just break it. And again, notice, how's this feeling? Is there a sudden sense of liberation, joyousness in the body as you realize that you don't have to stick with a habit just because you've made it? Your body has the capacity to change, to move, to flow in different directions. And before you settle too much into this change of pattern, let's change the pattern again. So finding a way with your line to do something different again. A new line, a new form, a new curve, a new direction. change in the flow of the fixed pattern to create something very new. How does this feel? Is there a tension, a concern about which direction this image is going to go in? Dislike of the pattern that's emerging, it's not pleasing to the eye. Remember, we're here to simply notice. We're here to simply watch and see what happens in our body as these changes occur. And again, before you get too comfortable with this one, I want you to change again. Changing the pattern again, so that this becomes something new. And from here, find a new line, a new pattern, a new shape. That's here as a result in the break of pattern. Feel into the body as you begin to replicate this. Does it feel awkward and unfamiliar? Does it feel liberating and alive? Just here to witness. Just here to notice. Just here to play. Observing. Wondering. And as we come to the end of our creative meditation for today, just slowly finding a way that you would like to finish this activity. What do you want to do to create a sense of satisfaction at the end of this exercise? Whatever it is you want, remember, this is just a drawing. It doesn't matter. You can change, you can maneuver, you can move anything you want. And slowly but surely, finding the right time, the exact moment to finish up. When that time comes, putting your drawing material down, just looking, watching, observe. What do you see now? What have you created in this last 10, 15 minutes? Is your imagination going wild as you see something emerging from these patterns? Are you intrigued about what might happen if you continue? Slowly but surely finding a way of ending today, perhaps coming up with one word that sums up your experience. I'm seeing an elephant and I have no idea why or what that means, but that's where my imagination has taken me today. So if you're interested in investigating your chart in a completely different way. I'll put a link below to my human design and creative meditations for self-care link. I also do a weekly creative meditation with the transits. So we get to spend more time creating, imagining, investigating how these energies that are around us impact us, shape us, so we can respond or attune better to what's going on. So I'll put the link to that below as well. So enjoy the rest of your day.